When it comes to combining horror, action, and the kind of fan service that makes you wonder if the animators were just trolling us, Highschool of the Dead is in a league of its own. Released back in 2010, the series dives deep into the terror of a zombie apocalypse, seen through the eyes of a bunch of high school students who suddenly have to fight to survive. And yeah, the fan service is absurd, but stay with me. Beneath the endless jiggle physics and the questionable camera angles, the series actually has a lot to offer. So let's meet our cast. There's Takashi Kimura, the brooding hero who goes from everyday student to zombie slayer in chief real quick. You could say he's our reluctant action hero, always 2 seconds away from a tragic inner monologue. Then there's Rei Miyamoto, his childhood friend who's a fierce fighter, but well, let's just say her loyalty gets complicated. If you like messy relationships, Highschool of the Dead delivers. Next up we have Sayako Bushujima, the kendo expert who brings a sword to the apocalypse. Cool, collected, and just a bit intense. She's the last person you'd want to face in a fight. I mean, imagine having a bad day and she just kicks down the door, kendo stick in hand, like, hey, I heard you were having a crisis. And then there's Saya Takagi, the group's brains with zero tolerance for nonsense. Finally, we got Kota Hirano, the unassuming gun enthusiast and low-key marksman. Think of him as that one friend who's really good at zombie survival tactics and has way too much knowledge about firearms for a teenager. And who brought this twisted tale to life? None other than Madhouse, one of Japan's top animation studios. This is the same studio that gave us classics like Black Lagoon, Trigun, and Death Note. Anime that's intense, gritty, and maybe a little too cool for us. They're also responsible for One Punch and Hunter x Hunter, proving that they're basically the Swiss army knife of anime studios. They can do edgy, mind-bending thrillers, intense action, and, well, whatever High School of the Dead is. And definitely more camera angles than usual. Behind High School of the Dead were 2 interesting creators, Shoji Sato and Daisuke Sato. Shoji Sato, the manga's illustrator, is known for his highly detailed, dynamic art style, giving us everything from intense fight scenes to, the infamous fan service. Let's be real, he went all in on the visual appeal. Then we have Daisuke Sato, the writer. And here's a fun fact. He wasn't just a manga author, he was also a board game designer and novelist. Talk about range. With High School of the Dead, he crafted a story that's surprisingly thoughtful beneath the chaos, exploring survival, morality, and just how messed up people can get when society collapses. So if you were wondering who decided to pair zombies with high school drama and questionable outfit choices, that's your answer. It all begins when a teacher at the school gate gets bitten by what looks to be a crazed man. In seconds, the infection spreads, and we're plunged into chaos. This is the point where the series says, hope you weren't getting too comfortable. It's the kind of scene that slaps you in the face with, yeah, no one's safe. Here's where we get our first state of survival of the fittest. 2 girls are running for their lives, and to move straight out of Mean Girls, one girl kicks her friend down the stairs yelling, let go of me, bitch. Moments like this remind us, when the apocalypse hits, friendships, they're toast. The group soon discovers a helpful bit of info. The zombies are basically blind. They react to sound, kind of like the zombies in Train to Busan, so silence is key. This gives our heroes a slight advantage. But then they see the news and realize that it's not just their school. This is citywide, possibly global disaster. It's the moment where the horror really sets in. You're not just trapped with zombies, you're isolated. Look, I get it. High School of the Dead is famous or infamous for its fan service and over-the-top action. But here's the thing. Even without the fan service, there's a real story here. At its core, the series is about how people react when the world they know falls apart. Each character has to make brutal choices, face the worst in others, and keep moving forward despite the chaos. One of the show's most gut-wrenching moments happens on the bridge, when a mother in complete denial is seen carrying her daughter's limp body, insisting that she's still alive. But then, in a horrifying twist, the daughter springs back to life as a zombie and bites her mother in the neck. It's a brutal emotional punch to the gut that shows how cruel the apocalypse can be, even to those holding on to the smallest thread of hope. And if that wasn't dark enough, things only get worse as a bulldozer plows through the panicked crowd, and a guilt-ridden police chief ends his life. High School of the Dead doesn't hold back on the sheer brutality of a world falling apart. Then episode 7 brings us another gut punch of a scene. A father desperately knocks on doors, pleading with neighbors to take in his daughter. When they finally open the door, he's killed. Showing us again how cruel people can become when fear takes them over.
I'm so sorry.
Forcing Takashi to step up, rescuing a little girl from the zombies.
Don't worry about a thing, kid. You're gonna be just fine.
While balancing on the narrow fence while the undead swarm below him. It's a heart-pounding scene that shows just how far Takashi is willing to go to protect others in this nightmare world. Now this scene is the most infamous scene in the High School of the Dead. A bullet whizzes, barely grazing Saeko's chest in a ridiculously slow motion sequence that takes fan service to a whole new level. It's absurd, but it's one of those moments that makes High School of the Dead what it is.
I fucking missed.
We see Saeko in full swing, cutting down zombies with a focus that borders on thrill, but then she hesitates. 2 zombified kids block her path, and for a moment, the blade stops. Takashi steps in and finishes him off without hesitation. Later, though, Saeko drops a revelation that changes how we see her.
I thought
She admits she once lured an abuser in by pretending to be vulnerable, only to be him senseless. Turns out she didn't need the apocalypse to bring out her darker side. It was already there, hiding under the surface. While the rest of the crew might be forced to adapt to this brutal new world, she was always ready. It makes her both terrifying and somehow one of the most reliable in the group.
that's who I am. Can't you see?
We see Kota with his beloved guns. The weapons give him a sense of control and security, but the adults pressure him to give them up, treating him like a kid. It's a classic generational divide, with the young survivors adapting to this new world better than the so-called adults.
Borrowing these from someone. Besides, no one here can use any of these weapons better than I can.
I don't mean to rain on your parade, my little Miss Life.
In the calm before the storm, we get a quieter moment when Rei finally confesses her feelings to Takashi. But Takashi, in a rare moment of honesty, questions whether she's just saying it because of the chaos around him. It's an awkward yet human exchange that captures the messy, complicated relationship in an apocalypse. Takashi's line, "I don't know if I should kiss you right now or smack the hell out of you," perfectly captures the tension between them, frustration and affection. In the final episode, a nuclear blast triggers an EMP effect that knocks out all the electronics, isolating the group completely as they face one last stand at the mansion. As the zombie breaks through the gates, it's pure chaos. Nearly all the adults get killed, including Saji's parents. And our main cast barely escapes with their life. They walk off toward an uncertain future, heading to a shopping mall that might be their last hope, or just another graveyard in this brutal new world. As fans of High School of the Dead, we all wanted more, but there's a reason we'll never see a continuation. In an interview, the editor revealed that the ones who would be able to write a proper continuation aren't in this world anymore. Sato Daisuke was an outstanding writer. His commitment was out of this world. He wasn't half-hearted, nor did he let others interfere with his vision. So if I were to continue it now, it would be like spitting on his grave. So it's clear that Daisuke Sato's work was deeply personal. Continuing the story without him will feel like disrespecting the unique vision he crafted. So while it's sad for fans that High School of the Dead will remain unfinished, we can honor Sato's legacy by appreciating the impact he had on the story he left behind. In a way, leaving it as it is preserves the spirit and integrity of his work. And maybe that's why, over a decade, we're still talking about it.